I don't know if it's recording. I wish my front camera worked. Whatever. What's up? Um, I guess we'll see if it's recording when it's over with. Who knows? I'm sure I look terrible, but I can't tell. I don't know. I didn't look in the mirror. I never do. I was sitting here monologuing in my brain about foster care and foster kids and the whole system. And normally I'm like imagining what I would say if I were doing a comedy set. Um, but I don't have access to a stage or a microphone as usual. So I don't know. Something was like, yeah, go pull out your phone. But again, my phone that has access to internet is on the charger because it's always dead and on the charger when I have profound thoughts. Now that's apparently the universe's new thing now is that I can only come up with good ideas when I don't have access to share them with anyone. Anyway, so yeah, foster care. I think that the policy for children in our country should be no one's allowed to have any kids until they first agree, hear me out, to foster other people's kids. And they are able to do that successfully for 1 year. Um, if you're not at least willing to be a respite, and that means that you're someone who would be willing to open up your home on the weekends to take care of other people's kids or the kids of full-time foster parents who need a break, uh, then maybe you don't have kids. Because if you don't want kids of your own bad enough to be willing to put up with other people's kids for 1 year, at least on the weekends, then maybe you just don't really like kids, you know? I feel like there's like that right there would wipe out like a whole slew of terrible parents who, and these are the parents, y'all know who y'all are, and some of y'all used to be some of my friends, so whatever, I don't care. Sorry, it's true. Um, these parents who claim that they love their kids, but they can't stand other people's kids. That's not a thing. If you don't like other people's kids, you just don't like kids. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know there's people that are like, I didn't like any kids until I had my own, and then I just fell in love. Not true. Look, a lot of people that claim to really love their kids, but obviously hate kids in general, they don't really love their kids the way they think they do. Like, either they have Munchausen syndrome, or they're living vicariously through their children, or they secretly resent their children and are in competition with them and behind, like, all of the false I love yous and, oh, I'm so proud. Like, they don't actually say that to us, but they'll, like, brag about us to other people whenever it suits their needs. Do you know what I mean? Those kind of parents. Um, in other words, if you're doing good or you're doing bad, it doesn't matter because it gives them a story to tell. It's not about you, it's about them. Those are the kind of people, like, excuse me, but you don't necessarily need to actually have kids if that's who you are. You just want them as like an extension of you that you can control, and that's not healthy, and we need to like nip that in the bud. So yeah, just like the whole 28 days thing where you had to like keep a plant alive for a year and then keep a dog alive for a year, which by the way, I've done now. He's still breathing. Um, if you can keep a foster kid alive for a year, I know that sounds so horrible. Like it doesn't work if I'm not saying it in a certain setting and whatever, because it's not a joke what happens to kids in foster care. Obviously, my child suffered in foster care. I'm not far removed from that issue. I take it very seriously, and that is why I bring it up, because it is definitely something that needs to be dealt with, and it's something that needs to be fixed. Our system is messed up. We are giving children to predators. We are taking children away from loving parents who just need help. And we are turning around and giving them to people who should never be anywhere near children. And then we're paying them to torture, traumatize, and indoctrinate those children. That is not okay. And there's nothing funny about that. But if you knew my kid, And most kids that grow up in foster care, if there's anyone watching this who grew up in foster care, I'm sure you'll understand. You have to. Like, you have to develop thick skin, and you have to develop a sense of humor, and you have to be able to laugh about your trauma, because if you can't laugh about your trauma, then your trauma rules you, and you can't let your trauma rule you, because then you become like them. So anyway, whatever. This didn't go where I was intending it to go, and I'm going to stop it now and see what happens on the playback. If it ends up being posted, peace.